What if being the smart one is actually the reason you feel alone? Have you ever felt different? When others laugh, you stay quiet. When others relax, your mind keeps racing. When others feel satisfied, you feel like you're still not enough. People call you smart, gifted, the one with the bright future. But the more they praise you, the more afraid you become of failing. This video isn't about how to become smarter. It's about the hidden trap of being the smart one. And maybe, without realizing it, you've been trapped in it for years. Maybe growing up you often heard, "You're the smart one. You'll figure it out. We believe in you." At first it feels good. You feel special, but slowly, that label becomes pressure. Because when you fail, it doesn't just feel like a mistake. It feels like losing your identity. You start thinking, if I'm not smart, then who am I? That's the first trap. You stop learning to grow. You start performing to protect your image. Here's the irony. Many smart people are actually more afraid of trying new things. Why? Because they're used to succeeding. And when something feels difficult, it threatens their identity. So you avoid challenges, not because you can't do them, but because you're afraid of looking incapable. You choose what feels safe, what guarantees success. But real growth only happens when you're willing to look foolish. Without noticing, you begin living for applause, good grades. You feel worthy. Praise, cruise, you feel enough. Recognition, cruise, you feel secure. But what happens when the applause stops? You feel empty. Because your self-worth was built on external validation, and the world doesn't always clap. One day you'll enter a stage of life where no one cares how smart you were in school. And if you never learn to value yourself without praise, you'll feel lost. There's another side no one talks about. Smart people often feel misunderstood. You think deeply, you analyze everything, you feel intensely, and when you try to explain what's in your head, people say, "You're overthinking. It's not that deep." Eventually, you stop explaining, not because you have nothing to say, but because you're tired of feeling different. And that's when loneliness quietly grows. Then comes perfectionism. You don't want to be good, you want to be flawless. But perfection doesn't exist. You redo your work again and again. You're never satisfied. You focus more on what's missing than what's achieved. Perfectionism looks like high standards, but often it's fear in disguise, fear of disappointing others, fear of not being the smart one anymore. Because your mind works fast and deep, it also creates worst-case scenarios. What if I fail? What if I disappoint them? What if I'm not actually that smart? Your brain never rests. On the outside, you look calm. On the inside, you're constantly battling your thoughts. And over time, that becomes anxiety. So is being smart the problem? No, intelligence is a gift. But making it your entire identity is the trap. You are more than your grades, more than praise, more than expectations. Allow yourself to fail. Allow yourself to try things you're bad at. Allow yourself to grow without being the best. You are human, not a performance. Real confidence isn't about always being right. It's about being okay when you're wrong. If you've ever felt lonely because you're the smart one, you're not alone, and you don't have to carry that pressure forever. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is stop proving that you're smart and start accepting that you're human. You're allowed to fail. You're allowed to rest. You're allowed to be imperfect because your worth was never supposed to come from applause. It was always meant to come from within.